Welcome to Beast the Odds. I am Muntradamus. Tonight, we have Dr. Jesse Morris in the building. We have my Beast or Bust Waiver Wire of the Week. Did your fantasy football website tell you to pick up Jacoby Brissett in Week 2 or Nelson Aguilar as the top wide receiver? I don't think so. BEASTDOME did join the BEASTDOME Season Pass today. But first, our clip of the week.
I love it. I love it all. The rain, because I think the rain slows everybody else down. So I feel like, I feel like a mermaid. I feel like a mermaid and everybody else is like dogs swimming. You know what I mean? So I be feeling like I'm just fluent out there. So I think it's the rain. I feel like SpongeBob.
I'll smoke what he's smoking.
Fantasy football is a lot like golf. First you have the drive, which in this case we can call the draft. Then you have the shots to get to the green in regulation, aka playoffs. This includes waiver wire, trades, start, sit. Once you do everything right, you knock in the easy putt and win your championship. If you decide not to sign up for any of the Beast season packages, you could find yourself out of the playoffs despite your Beast roster.
Welcome back to Beast the Odds. We are joined once again by Dr. Jesse Morris. Dr. Jesse, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Yo, thank you for having me. Let's rock and roll. We thankfully wasn't as crazy as last week.
Yeah, take us through some of the big injuries. Let's headline with Saquon. What's going on there?
Saquon got really lucky. He's still going to be out for a while, but this could have been season ending. This could have been even worse. He suffered a high ankle sprain, which is a tear of the ligaments of the two bones in between each of the lower leg bones. This is what Tevin Coleman suffered about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. This is what OBJ had a couple years ago. The difference is OBJ had a fracture and Saquon did not. He's going to probably be out realistically a minimum of 6 weeks. Probably close to the 8 or maybe even 10 because of their bye week and whatnot. So I would not be surprised if he came back at week 12 or somewhere around there. So a big portion of the season.
Yeah, now it seems like it's Wayne G time in New York, but not a lot of talent there, but at least the opportunities will be there.
Oh yeah, maybe some rumblings about Melvin?
Some Melvin, or maybe Jay Ajayi from free agency. Give him a little run. We will see.
Rise him from the dead.
Exactly. What else? What other injuries do we need to be aware of?
So your boy T.Y. Hilton was off to a monster game, and then he re-injured that quad. It sounds like he's day-to-day. Quad injuries are one of two varieties. One is a strain, and the other one is a contusion or a deep bruise. This is likely a strain just based on the fact that they re-aggravated it and the fact that they pulled him out. It sounds like it was a little precautionary, but obviously they pulled him out pretty early. So, and he was pretty much the entire offense, at least to that point. We won't really know his status for week 4 until probably Friday. So you're going to have to tune back in. If he practices Wednesday, Thursday, then he's got a chance. But if he's not looking the best, he may be kind of more of a game time decision.
Yeah, scoring a touchdown on the play that he got injured. At least he ended his fantasy day on a high note.
Oh yeah.
Who else?
The Patriots got a little banged up. They lost their crazy wide receiver in Antonio Brown, who decided he wanted to go back to college. Then Julian Edelman landed kind of awkwardly on the right side of his abdomen and likely bruised some ribs. His x-rays were negative, which is a good because he could have easily fractured some ribs. There's cartilage in between each of the ribs. That's where the nerve runs, and this is very painful if he irritated or damaged some of that cartilage. He's kind of a tough kid, so I think he'll end up playing in week 4 in a decent matchup against the Bills. But this is more of a pain tolerance than anything. As far as Josh Gordon, he also left. He probably either dislocated or fractured a finger. You see him, he was grimacing. He was very uncomfortable when he was leaving the field. He went over to either the doctor or the trainer. It was hard to see who it was. They likely put it back in place, taped him up, let him put his glove back on, and he went back out and ended up playing the rest of the game. So I don't have really any concerns for him going forward. It will be uncomfortable. There will be some swelling, but if he was able to return, then that's good news.
Yeah, Josh Gordon had a touchdown slip through his fingers in the first half. Edelman had a big game. Sonny Michel could not get going against Buffalo. Look for the same type of game plan from the Patriots. A lot of shotgun, a lot of throwing the ball. What else do we need?
Yeah, I mean, James White was that late scratch because his wife was having a baby, so there was a little bit of scuffling, and Burkhead was the key to most lineups. And if you hadn't had him in, I mean, you didn't obviously plan on having him in early in the week, but he was the key to end up probably winning you money if you ended up winning money because of that late scratch.
Definitely, and that's why you almost have to wait until Sunday to put out your final lineup.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, and then Andrews didn't look very good. He was 50-50 to play with a foot. I warned people about this, and then on Sunday morning on the live stream, I was like, yeah, be careful here. I know you want him to play and be a beast, but he wasn't. I mean, he barely did much. Marquise Hollywood didn't do much, so they really struggled on offense. Ingram just went ham, but I think this week they have a better chance. Andrews has a better chance to be more effective, but that definitely affected a lot of people. Vance McDonald left with a shoulder injury. We don't have any details. Ito Smith left with a concussion. These usually take anywhere from 7 to 10 days on average for most concussions, but the more you get, the longer they take, a la, Jordan Reed.
Yeah, unfortunate there. LaShawn McCoy, any update with him?
So LaShawn McCoy played a decent amount of snaps in the game. He was coming off of an ankle injury that was negative per MRI, which means that there wasn't any significant damage, but there's a lot of swelling and bruising. The ankle is notorious for re-aggravating, especially in a running back who's going to try to move, stick and move. And he probably ended up doing that, and that's why Darrell Williams ended up getting the bulk of the carries, and Darwin wasn't really anywhere to be seen. I would not be surprised if he's a little bit better this week, but this is going to be another late week decision, and we still don't know about the specifics of Damian Williams, besides the fact that he obviously didn't play this past week, but he's still got a knee issue that is lurking, that we need to kind of monitor as well, because this backfield could go from 1 or 2 guys to 4 guys.
Yeah, and at this point, Damian Williams is a definite bust for anyone that drafted him on their fantasy team. He's not going to retain that second, third round value moving forward.
No, unfortunately not, and unless there's some craziness that happens later in the year, but right now, that's looking very slim.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Jesse Morse, thank you so much for the weekly report. Is there anyone else that we need to touch on?
Cam's out at minimum of 1 week, probably closer to 2 or 3. Kyle Allen looked really good against the decimated Arizona Cardinals defense, and likely they will continue to roll with him. Rashad Penny is going to need to be used with his hamstring, but we don't know if he's going to be able to make it back, so this is going to be another later week decision. Those are the main guys. Chris Conley got a little banged up on Thursday, but nothing overly concerning. Those are the only guys that we know of right now, but the reports really don't come out till Tuesday and a lot of the times Wednesday, so we'll have to kind of see midweek where we're at.
Yeah, maybe a QB controversy in Carolina moving forward. A quarterback that can finally throw the ball accurate.
Yeah, accurate, and he's got the wheels to justify being on the field, whereas Cam, it just looks like a shell of the former self. He can't throw the ball, he can't run the ball, so it's like, what go to you,
That's a very great point right there. Well, thank you again, Dr. Jesse Morse. We'll see you this weekend.
Take care.
Beast.
Sure, you can duel with kings, but are you ready to be the GOAT? Fantasy sports just went crypto. Welcome to GOAT, the global fantasy sports platform powered by Digital Fantasy Sports. DFS Token. GOAT allows users to connect and compete globally with their DFS while playing fantasy sports. From thrilling pick'em games to the classic salary cap style gameplay to season-long fantasy and even live drafts, Digital Fantasy Sports GOAT has you covered. Visit GOATFantasy.com.
No expert this preseason ranked Rex Burkhead higher than myself. In fact, most people were on the Damian Harris train way ahead of Rex Burkhead. Now, is Rex going to be a fantasy option that you can trust this season? Long story short, in PPR leagues, he's got a RB3 potential, more of an RB4, especially when James White is healthy. When James White is healthy, there is not a whole lot you can expect. He is a very situational player, but in the end, he takes away from Sonny Michel and James White, a big reason I had them ranked lower than every expert this preseason. Bust. That is all for Beast the Odds tonight. We'll be back with another episode this week. Get all the fantasy football content you need at BEASTDOME.com. Beast!